This episode of Off My Shelf contains coarse language and adult conversation. Listener discretion is advised. Hello, my name is Tracy James, and welcome to Off My Shelf, a podcast about movies that are, well, off my shelf, where we go through my DVDs and talk about the movies in my collection. In this episode, Sara Sibylle is here to talk about an odd pairing of films, American Splendor, a biography, and the other, 70s hi-jinx, Animal House. Welcome!
Hi.
Thank you for coming on this lovely, frigid, but sunshiny Sunday afternoon.
It's alright, I can't tell it's minus 30 outside since it's so warm in here.
I know! See, during the winter, it's great. During the summer, it's not that much fun. I will admit that.
Yeah, that's true. There's no in between.
No, yeah. It's just hot in here. Yeah. So we just came back from brunch, which is good. Kind of a change from the other episodes where I'm like rushing home from work and all that kind of stuff, where I got to like chill out, you know, wake up,
actually tell when
eat
you do
food.
That.
You can't?
I can't tell that you're rushing home and you're not panting and like, actually like, I'm doing a podcast now.
No.
You're trying to collect it.
Thank you.
You just
yes.
let out your pants and sweating, right?
Yeah. I'm here, I sit down, guest is here, and I'm just like, let's do this. Oh my god, it's the middle of the night. No, it's fine. It works out. It's okay. I mean, I think during winter it's been harder to do because it's so like dark outside.
Yeah.
But when I started doing this, it was in the summer, so I get home, it's still bright outside, people come over, it's still pretty chill and stuff, but now it just feels so, it feels late, almost oppressive, like, oh my god, I've been doing this for so long.
I can never forget this Narcity meme where there's two pictures side by side. The first picture was bright out and it was 4:59 p.m.
Yeah.
The next picture was pitch dark, 5 p.m. And then the quote was, Canada everywhere in winter.
It's
like,
true.
Yep.
It's true. Actually, I'm surprised they left it at 5 o'clock, because at certain points in time, it's like 3 p.m. It's pitch black outside.
Yeah.
Which is torture.
I no longer check the time.
Well,
unless I have to go home. And I'm like, okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm leaving work now.
Yeah.
It's going to be dark.
That's
Expect it.
You wake up in the dark, you come home in the dark. Yeah.
No wonder they call us White Walkers.
I know. Oh, God.
We do live in igloos.
We're trapped in our own cages. That is for sure. Yes. Well, us being that cynical, I guess it's a proper time to get into American Splendor.
I actually made notes.
Uh-huh.
I made notes, but really, I think the notes won't be super important because I just remember key parts which made me laugh and then made me remember how sarcastic I myself was.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, was or is?
Ooh, is.
Is? Yes. I mean, like Harvey Pekar is a very...
Pekar.
is a very, he's unlikable. Like, I find him thoroughly unlikable.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand how... Well, no. It's not that I don't understand how he managed to get where he is. I just don't understand him as a person in general. And what's funny about this movie is because it's a biography, sort of half fictional, half real life, because Harvey Pekar is there narrating certain parts of his story, and he's in parts of it, so you get to see the fictionalized version of him and the real version of him. And still, I was just like, you are unpleasant.
Yeah, but his wife Joyce isn't much better.
No, she's not. No.
It was really funny though. My favorite part, and I watched it twice because I'm a sick person, and I have no life during the winter. Just stay at home all day.
Yeah.
Was that the montage where Joyce is just calling everyone out on their psychosis, and she. And he's so against it too. Yeah. He just keeps telling her to stop, and she points out, borderline autistic, and she calls his boss, like, I don't remember, like...
I did not write them down, so no.
And then she calls Crumb, like, psychologically perverse, because he writes on the girl's back and leaves the room. And like, that moment was when I realized that he knew what was wrong with him. He was incredibly aware of all the issues and flaws he had with himself, but the entire movie he's unwilling to actually... admit to them.
But I don't think it's that he wouldn't admit to it. I think as you said, I think he knows. he just didn't have anybody in his life who was capable of trying to help him through it.
Yeah,
you know,
that's true.
because even though the wife like was pointing out people's issues, she didn't give any help or any kind of, you know, direction on what they could possibly do to change that behavior or to where to find help about it or what they can do about it. She was just like, I'm just going to tell you what you are. You know, you're this, you're this, you're this, you're this. You're like, okay. And that was it.
She didn't even get a job, though. She barely worked. When she moved in with him a week later. And I think there was one part where he was complaining that that if she got a job, then he would be happier, but she never did.
Yeah, that wasn't her purpose, I guess. I found her at a certain point, I actually think I found her more unlikable than him, because at least, despite the fact that he hated everyone and everything pretty much, he still got up and tried.
Yeah.
Whereas she hated everything and everyone and just sort of leeched. And I think that's a lot worse.
She did help him out when he had lymphoma. Up to a point.
Up to a point.
Yeah.
I think it was more of a... I'm not saying that she didn't quote unquote love him, but I think it was more of a point of preservation why she helped him than her actually wanting to do something, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. She was, if it fit her, because she went to, where was it? Like
Israel or something?
And she, even though he missed her a lot, she didn't come back until much, much later, where they skip the scene when suddenly they're in bed, but you don't know the time frame of how long it took for her to come back.
Well, you know, it was months, I think, because that's when he had the breakdown on Letterman and all that kind of stuff, because he was begging her to come back.
Yeah.
Because I think he knew he was at a certain point where he couldn't take it. Like, he had a problem with being alone.
Yeah.
But people also didn't want to be around him because he was such a...
misogynist?
Not just misogynist. He was very many things, including a misogynist. But yeah, people didn't want to be around him because he was just too difficult to be around.
Yeah.
But she would just be around and it calmed him.
Yeah.
And he's like, I need you back. And then what happened was he ended up going back on Letterman, and then, you know, everything that she would usually calm him about just got unleashed. It just came out, you know?
Yeah.
And it sort of ruined his, you know, budding career, I guess.
I actually wanted to check out the original Letterman recordings of that scene. I didn't get around to it. But I was wondering, was Letterman really that much of a dick in that scene? Like, how...
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah?
He's known for being a dick when it suits him.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So I wasn't surprised. I really did find it interesting that how so within the movie, when he did the interviews on Letterman, they showed the real interview. Yeah, they did. But then that last one, when he had the breakdown, they didn't show the real one. They showed Giamatti's portrayal of that scene, which I thought was a really odd choice, because I would think that would be the scene to really show. But maybe what happened was it didn't actually air. Maybe that's what it was. Possibly. I didn't even look into it myself. I really should have.
I get what you mean. And one thing that also, on the whole like transition between the real Pekar and Giamatti's Pekar, was the jelly bean scene when he and real Toby were picking out the jelly beans. Oh, they transitioned, and they're just Giamatti and the dude who plays Toby was sitting in the background laughing.
I loved that scene. Yeah, it was so, but because it was literally like. So they did it like it was a stage play almost, and like, so you had Giamatti and, oh my god, what was that guy's name?
I looked it up 3 times and I can't remember, so you have to help me.
So did I. I looked it up so many times.
This pina colada stuck in my head. Don't you want the pina colada?
Because it's delicious. Hold on, what am I looking up?
Come on, Google food. Make us proud.
Splendor.
I hated that it's spelled the American way. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm so tempted to put a U in there.
Yeah, and every time I write it down, they tell me I'm spelling it wrong.
You're a filthy Canadian. How could you?
I know.
You can't decide between American spelling and British spelling.
What's that guy's name? Roy? Oh my god. Why can I not find it? Yeah, my note about that scene is gourmet jelly beans are really good.
Great note.
Yeah, I have exactly the same note. I love the scene where real Harvey and Toby have a convo, and the fake ones just sit in the background.
Yeah.
Why can't I find his name?
It shouldn't be that. It should be pretty high up.
But it's not. They have it in appearance order, and Toby doesn't come in for a little while, which is very annoying. Toby, his name is Joda Friedlander.
What a name!
Oh, it's that guy.
Judah Friedlander.
It's the guy from 30 Rock.
Oh yeah, it is that dude.
I didn't recognize him at all.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Because he's a real nerd.
Yeah, but they actually, like, within the movie, you hear Joda talk normally, not as Toby.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And he's a nerd, sure, but he doesn't have the same affliction as Toby. And so that's one of the reasons why I think his portrayal is really good of Toby, because you hear him and then they show the real Toby and you're just like, they have that real guy in this. Yeah. And he sounds like that. Yeah. Oh my god.
It was the only moment too, right? Where he talks.
No, there's a whole section because like Toby got like a little bit famous.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and there's the MTV and all that kind of. So he comes back in like a couple of times within it, like the real Toby. But I was shocked. I was like, "What? That's so crazy." But yeah, such a good show. Oh my god. I must admit though, I only watched of the last season. I watched the last 2 episodes.
I actually did not finish the last season. I watched the first 3. If I'm not wrong, and I had TV then, and they stopped showing it, so I stopped having cable. So I was like, I'm not gonna download a bunch of 30 Rock or stream a bunch of 30 Rock episodes. It was just too much work for me.
You're like, oh my god, I don't want to Google this.
The thing about me is I really like high quality stuff. So streaming was just like 720p. I'm not watching this lemon on potato quality.
Are you kidding? I'm okay with 720, thank you.
Sorry, 1080 and 4K all the way.
Oh my god.
I'm one of those people.
I actually hate 4K. I don't like the way it looks. It has this like really weird
it's very but dense, right? The pixels?
I guess. Is
that what you're trying to say?
I don't know. Like, there's something visually distracting about it that I don't like looking at. Right. Like, 1080 I'm fine with. 720 I'm fine with. Like, of course, 1080 is always better. Yeah. But, like, that 4K look, I don't like the way it looks.
So, for me, when I watch 4K at home, like, I have my couch set up, like, I would say 6 feet, so it's less jarring, but I remember watching Dunkirk on 4K in the theater, and the first time I watched it, I was too close to the screen. I was you're right, it was very tunnel-like. It was, like, weird. And then I watched it again, and I was a lot further back. So when you're watching 4K stuff, you have to be pretty far back so that it doesn't everything's just not screaming at your face. Okay. It also depends on, like, 4K animation gets to me. It's weird. It's very too bright and there's too much going on. Yeah. Yeah, but if it's a movie with like darker lighting and fewer people, it's not fewer people in the scene, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, see, my whole experience with like 4K, like besides being in like theaters, which I don't ever sit that close to the screen anyways, but I also don't sit at the back of the theater. I think you're not, like, I sit approximately always in the center, like in the center of the theater is what I tried to for the most part. But it's usually just not, like they have the walkway and then there's chairs in the front, chairs to the back. Never in the front part, just further back, just a little bit further back. And people are just like, you're just too close to the screen. I'm like, no, I'm close enough to the screen where the screen takes up my whole field of vision, but I'm not encompassed by the screen. Yeah. So like sitting all the way at the back of the theater is like sitting at home and watching it on TV. Yeah. Because you see the edges, you see the little curtains, and you see and then you get distracted by it. Yeah. And if you sit too close, you have to turn your head to see all the things. That's also not fun. Yeah. But you sit at like a medium distance, the screen takes up your whole field of vision. You don't have to turn your head to see everything, and you feel like, you're watching this movie. Like this is the thing that you're doing.
The trick is finding the sweet spot. Every time I'm booking tickets online, I'm just like, J or H, I think. And I usually get it right.
Yeah.
But when that row is taken, I'm like, should I go back one or front one? And it takes me like 10 whole minutes, and then I actually text my friends, have you been to this theater before? Do you remember which
You do a lot of work.
Well, my friends all go to the theater a lot, so it's just like a text away. I don't have... My friends are all really geeky, sadly, so they would happily reply me, pick this seat or pick this movie. Don't watch this. Don't watch... No, just watch this at home. Don't waste your $17.
Yeah.
It's an insane amount of money. So.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Like, I feel bad for this, but it's not like I don't pay for this. Is that, like, there's... Especially, like, indie movies and stuff. There's no point, really, seeing it in a theater. It's not a theater film, you know? But I pay for Netflix, and I pay for Crave, and I pay for HBO, and I pay for TV. Yeah. And so I always watch it as soon as they're available, because I want to watch them.
You're paying way more, honestly, to watch all these than for a movie ticket at this point. With all your
but with all my subscriptions, it's not one movie, right? I'm paying $17 and I'll watch 15 and 20 movies instead, right? True. It's that kind of thing. And like I was telling you earlier today, like yesterday alone, I watched 5 movies. That's just what I do. Like I take in a lot of content on a regular basis. Yeah. So for me, it's totally worthwhile to do that. Yeah. You know? Whereas like I know there's lots of people out there that are just like, I'm home at between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. every day. I watch 1 hour of TV and then I go to work. Like, no, it's not worth you to have cable.
You pleb.
Yeah. Like, how dare you?
How do you find, so the scene where Harvey talks about how in the phone book there's Harvey Pekar and he's Harvey L. Pekar. Mm-hmm. What do you think was the symbolism of that scene? Because that was a very interesting scene, but I don't know. I don't feel like I understood it even on a second watch.
Well, so it's all of the what's in a name, you know. A rose will still smell as sweet if it was called by a different name, right? It's that kind of thing, and I think, like he even said, like Harvey Pekar it's an odd name, especially for where he was living. Yeah. And to find out that there was somebody else with that name, and he was curious. He's like, who could these people be, and all that kind of stuff. And it was an existential moment, right? Because that was during the part where he's like, I'm dying. Right. And he's looking for, who am I? Right. And one of the things that is him is his name. But the thing is he found out other people have his name. What does that mean? Yeah. Right? Does that mean he is somebody different because of his name? Does that mean the other person is who he's supposed to be? Yeah. Does that mean there's more of him out there? Yeah. It was a existential crisis.
It's very interesting how they left it hanging, and then immediately the next scene is, if I remember correctly, is he's cured of lymphoma. If I'm not wrong, he tells his wife, like, I'm in the clear, I think.
Yeah, he can't. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was very interesting, where it's such this really heavy scene, and then the rest of the later half of the movie is pretty positive and a bit lighter.
Well, I think that's the point in time where he stopped taking himself so seriously. Yeah. You know, like he had that existential crisis, and actually the thing about that scene is it reminded me of a book by a comedian named Dave Gorman. Yeah. And it was a book called Who is Dave Gorman? And that's literally what he did. He Googled himself. Right. And he found other Dave Gormans around the world, and he was like, I'm going to find out who these people are.
Did he?
Yeah, and he traveled around the world, and I think he met like 10 Dave Gormans. Right. I read this book quite a while ago. I don't remember all the details. But he met like rich people, poor people, you know, one was like a doctor, and one was a scientist, and one was like another writer or something. I don't really remember. Right. But it's true. It makes you think. He was like, because it made him think about himself. Like, you know, where did his name come from? What does his name mean for where he is? He's not genealogically related to these people in any way. So how come they have his name and all this kind of stuff? And it's true. A lot of people put like a lot of emphasis on my name is my name. Mm-hmm. Like, look at celebrities right now. Yeah. You know, Rihanna just sued her father for using their name.
Wait, what? I'm sorry. I don't
you didn't
keep
hear about
celebrities.
this?
No, I don't keep up with celebrities.
Well, it came across one of my feeds, right? Because I'm into this kind of stuff. Like, it came across one of my feeds. Like, Rihanna sued her father for using their last name in something. And apparently she sued him to get him to stop abusing her name to get free stuff or whatever.
Sorry, what's her actual last name?
I think it's Fenty.
Fenty. That's her actual last name?
I think so. I think that's what it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she sued her own father for using the surname Fenty, which belongs to him. It is his surname too, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Fenty is their last name, yes.
Right.
And she sued the father for using her last name in something, and she's like, it's to get him to stop from abusing like her name and different stuff.
That's interesting.
And I was just like, but that's my first thought. I'm like, but it's his, technically he gave you the name. You can't sue him for that.
Yeah.
I don't know I didn't care enough to like look into like what happened or whatever.
Right.
Like I got this from like a quick like blurb and whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened with the case or what's going on with it. But my first thought was like, shouldn't he be suing you because you're making money off of his name? Like it doesn't.
Yeah.
You know.
That's very interesting though, because I really love finding out the origins of names and like whenever I write or even like just finding interesting names. I like the symbolism. A lot of people don't really care. Like my name is, I don't know, like my name's Sara. A lot of people don't really know what their names mean. It's just whatever their parents gave them.
Yeah.
But in the point of celebrities especially, it's, you've got like Rihanna, you've got Nicki Minaj, or the Kardashians, where it's a name makes them, and they own the name now and they're trying to copyright it. Almost like, oh, you can't, like, her dad is, like, her dad is less famous, so
she's getting away with it.
She's getting away with it, right? But at the same time, it's also interesting where someone else who might have that name might be a more interesting person. They might not be famous, but they might actually reflect that name better than this other person.
Exactly. Yeah. But, you know, but it's all about, like, right now, especially with celebrities and companies, it's branding, right? And you can't use a person's name to brand something if it's not yours. But like, if there's probably lots of people who have, say, the same name as famous people who have a problem. Like, they can never have a business name with that name simply because somebody who's already famous is using that name. So you're like, you can't use it.
But then also makes me think of, like, when Game of Thrones first came out, Harry Potter, people started naming their kids like Daenerys or like Harry. At what point is it that, you see, they're using a person's name to name their kids versus they're naming their kids a famous person's name, because they're hoping that kid becomes famous. So,
I mean, some people name their kid just because they like the sound of something.
That too,
right?
It's just so interesting though. It's like, oh, I couldn't think of a name, but let me just name my kid a celebrity name so that.
And then you're memorable. Just like, that's it. Yeah. That's all it is, right? I mean, have you ever Googled your own name?
Yeah.
Anybody interesting come up?
No, not really.
No?
Yeah. My name is pretty common. Like, Sarah's pretty common.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, years ago, like, actually, after I watched this movie, I Googled myself again this time. But I remember the first time I did this, years and years ago.
Yeah.
It came up as like a black country singer in Alberta, and I was just like, I'm sorry, what? This is crazy.
Look at your other life.
I know.
No wonder you're tired and busy all the time. You're singing in Alberta.
I know.
And then you come back here.
It's the
city.
travel. It's killer.
I know, that tour bus life.
I know. Yeah. And I was just like, are you kidding? This is
How
crazy.
many whiskeys coat your throat before
like
you sing?
8.
Jeez, it's not enough.
Oh god, I gotta get on that 10 bus, you know, that kind of thing. I gotcha. But the funny thing is, like, this time when I Googled myself, she didn't even come up. Like, I actually just like search. I'm like, did I make this up? I'm like, no, I actually like put in Tracy James, country singer, blah blah. Then I could find her.
Yeah.
But apparently, like, the top of the list is there's apparently like a CEO, or / technology marketing specialist, and then followed by this podcast. I'm like, all right.
You're getting there.
I'm getting up there, apparently.
You are the CEO of your own podcast.
Yeah, my SEO is killing it. Boom. Can't go wrong.
SEO is like a trigger word for me now. Because I mean, I work in design, but I do a lot of like marketing collateral and stuff lately, and everything's about what's the SEO? Check the SEO. I'm like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
it drives me crazy as well.
We can only fight against the Google algorithm so much. You're fighting against the AI, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's why we created AIs, because humans aren't that smart. Mm-hmm. So you can put a lot of random SEO and hope that the optimized words get you somewhere. But at some point, you've got another life to live.
Yeah.
Just put it.
Well, the thing is too is with the internet, there's just so much. It's you can't oversaturate the internet because it's already oversaturated. Mm-hmm. And unless you are one of the lucky few that got in nice and early and are at the top of the list right away and all that kind of stuff and have actually kept up with doing things, you're not gonna be at the top right away.
So let's all be Gary Vaynerchuk.
Who?
Gary V. He's like this famous entrepreneur, writes self-help, best-selling self-help books.
Yeah.
I think his name is Gary Vaynerchuk. Yeah.
Okay.
And you can look him up. I think he started out maybe 10 years ago, over 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. It's Gary, and his surname is like Vayner. There you go, the first. So he got famous basically teaching people how to run their business.
Oh.
Yeah. And he stresses the importance of getting your name out there, SEO, and all that, being really, really active in social media.
Yeah, but that actually goes completely against everything that people have been told today. Because if you're too active on social media, people can track you and find you.
He's very old,
put your name out there and all this kind of stuff.
But he's also famous as fuck.
Yeah, so
he
can get away with it, right? He's got secure things in place that will keep anything from happening. But like I said, people have been hunted down based on, because they're posting on Instagram too much. People can literally track your movements. You know, on Facebook, you're tagging yourself in a bunch of different things. You know, or you're tweeting all this stuff as your day goes by. You're like, 9 a.m. I had breakfast. I did this today, and then I did this, and blah 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 blah.
Right.
It's an issue. So
there was the breach recently, right? I mean, there's been so many breaches. So there's this website that checks if your emails have been breached.
Have I been pwned or whatever?
Something like have I been pwned? Yeah. Mm. And I checked the 2 main emails I used, and they've been released to the dark web twice. But I checked an email that I used just specifically for Craigslist posts, and that has been untouched. And I was like, God damn it. But that's the email that gets the most spam, too. I'm like, I would think that would have been on the dark web forever ago. No. And then, no, it's my actual normal emails. I'm like, damn.
No, it's because they know. Like, if it's just on Craigslist, that's the only place it's being used. They're like, oh, it's a junk email. There's no point doing anything with this, right?
Yeah.
So, actually, I should check my emails, too.
Don't worry, you've been hacked.
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't be surprised. But that's just the kind of the world we live in right now.
Yeah.
And no matter...
It's not China.
Oh, God, yeah. And that's the thing, like, people are insisting on getting more and more interconnected, but they aren't prepared for the issues involved for being more connected.
Yeah.
You know?
How do we get from comics to talking about being breached and interconnectedness? I'm going to blame Harvey Pekar for this.
Well, yes, it's totally his fault. It's fine. But there was a train of thought to get there. It's something to do with
a train that constantly gets.
Oh, I said SEO at one point. That's
you
why.
Did.
Yes, there you go. We figured it out. We know where we've come from. We're backing up on that track. Chugga 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 chugga. It's fine.
I think you mean what's the backwards of chugga chugga? It'd be a gook.
A gook.
It's like a train going on, like, its wheels are on slime or something. A gook.
Oh, God.
The jazz music in that movie.
Loved it.
Just to tie with, I know we're going to talk about Animal House later, but both of them had really good jazz music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one thing I really enjoyed about the movie.
I thought I was watching the same movie.
He had a very good choice in music.
That's why he wouldn't share it with his boss.
Supervisor. He's like, no, this is mine. I don't have anything to give you.
I kind of get why, like, when Dress was complaining that he wouldn't clear any of his stuff when she moved in, I was thinking, if I were him as well, these are really precious jazz records. I don't think I would just get rid of them either.
No.
I would maybe probably get a storage space, but he could probably not afford it at that time. Mm-hmm. But it would have been a smart idea.
Yeah. As a collector too, I'm like, you're moving into my space. You have, I mean, he said yes, but she forced herself onto him. Yeah. I'd be like, that's nice. This is my stuff. He should have tried harder to make room for her. I'm not saying no, but I'm not going to get rid of my stuff.
But really, both of them are pretty messed up. Who moves in to marry it, like, after a week?
No, it was less than that. Didn't they meet one day and then they slept together that night, and then she's like, let's skip all that stuff and get married, and then she went back home, packed her stuff, and came back. Yeah. I was like, you're nuts.
Like, they're not 16. If they were 16, fine, but they were like mid-30s, I'm guessing, or later.
I just think like both of them knew they had, well, at least she knew, nobody wants to put up with this. You're good enough. You saw me throw up already. We're good. Like, that was it.
How she's clinically allergic to vegetables or something.
Yeah, so she has to keep eating meat. I was like, is that
I love that reasoning, though. I have to push that reasoning more.
I mean, it's true, because I watched one of those, like, Vice videos or something about this guy who, he was having continuous intestinal issues with fruits and vegetables and cooked meats and everything. Yeah. And literally the only thing he can do is eat raw meat, and his I'm sorry.
Your face just made, like
they showed what inside his fridge looks like, and it looks like he massacred several things in there. Like, it was something out of a horror movie, but he was just like, yeah, just pull this out, chop off a piece, and just eat it. And his face is all filled with blood and stuff, and I'm just like, I can't, no, God,
I think the video was actually called something like Real Life Cannibalism or something. Yeah.
Well, he's not a cannibal. He's not
a
human
cannibal,
flesh,
but, they did it for, like, clickbait reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did watch it. Yeah, his fridge was, I think I almost threw up when I saw his fridge.
And the thing is I'm not a vegetarian. I eat meat. It's fine. I have raw meat in my fridge. Fine. But seriously, I don't let my walls get coated with blood. And it was like, he just had a fridge that just had meat in it. Like, it was like a butcher shop meat locker. And I'm like, no, you can still put it in containers and bowls so it's not dripping blood all over your fucking fridge.
Hey, it's an aesthetic. You know, no packaging aesthetic, save the world.
Yeah, but you can have reusable packaging. You can go to the butcher shop and still buy your meat in paper, which is recyclable, and then put it in a container that you can wash. Thank you. Oh, I was so frustrated. I was just so grossed out.
It's just that moment where you were saying that you could put it in paper, it just sounds so motherly. Like, come on! Get your shit together!
I'm an old woman now all of a sudden. Oh, jeez, what have I done? Okay. No. I'm aging. I'm showing my age.
We all dying. It's all right.
Well, there's different. Well, no, there is a slight difference between aging and dying. Aging is dying slowly. Thank you.
It sounds more painful.
It does. Well, one of the theories is that we're actually allergic to air, and that's the thing. It's that as you get older,
all the time. I get it.
You know, you like your body finally starts to break down because it can't handle oxygen anymore. I'm like, all right.
We're all actually aliens. Got it. And a simulation owned by aliens. Got it.
It's by rats.
Oh.
You know this.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. If you did the calculations, you'd get the answer 42 and 2 white mice.
But where's the towels?
Well, the towels are a useful tool for the universe. You just have to have them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not traveling the universe. Because I don't have a towel.
Did you get one of those, like, rings for your hitchhiking? There could be a Vogon vessel above us right now. We don't know.
You would hear it, though. Would you? Wouldn't you?
No, they made an announcement.
Yeah?
Yeah, we didn't hear the ships. They made an announcement.
Oh, they're just waiting for the right time. And, you know, if I'm not wrong, Vogons take forever.
Well, because of all the bureaucracy, right, and the red tape.
The paperwork's still halfway through. So, it's going to take another 500,000 years.
Yeah, but it's whenever the construction for the highway gets here.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna have to wait. It's gonna be a little while.
I'm gonna be dead by then. Can I be dead by then?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Maybe. I mean, if they show up and you die, I mean, it's not gonna really make that much of a difference, will it?
No, I think it'd be better because they've got one less person to enslave. No, it'd be worse for them.
No, they didn't enslave anybody. They just destroyed the earth, remember?
Oh, yeah, true.
Because we didn't check the paperwork. So, yeah.
So when I was a kid, I told my dad to get me the omnibus version of Hitchhiker's Guide, including Mostly Harmless, which apparently everyone hates. I love that book.
I've never read it.
It's okay. Everyone dies. So, literally, that's why people hated that book. Everyone died, pretty much.
I just said I didn't read it, and you just ruined it for me.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's been like 20 years. It's fine.
I don't expect you to immediately jump on it with your half-finished book.
Good. I don't know.
I mean, fine. It's still a good book.
Why do I actually think I own it? I just haven't read it.
So I actually lost it because I moved around so much. But one of my favorite things was it had this alien cover on it, and the alien looked like Mike Wazowski. But it never shows up in the book. Like, there's never really an alien that looks like that in any of the books.
What?
And yeah, and I got it. The first time I got it was because I thought that alien would show up in the books, but it never did.
It never did.
I never did.
Oh my God.
I was like, Douglas Adams, if you were still alive, you'd be telling a publisher to make better decisions on book covers.
Wait, I thought Mostly Harmless was the book he didn't write.
No, he didn't write it. He partially wrote it. It was posthumous. But I think his family or foundation, whatever.
Somebody finished it, right?
Yeah, they basically pieced it together.
Well, maybe that alien was supposed to originally show up in it.
Yeah, maybe. But the ending was written by him. Like, he had notes on how it would end, and he did talk about it. But the writing is definitely a little bit different. Because he basically finished with The Salmon of Doubt.
Yeah.
With detective one. The 2 books. And I think there was a 3rd book, but it wasn't by him. It was by, his son or something. They did a J.R.R. Tolkien where the son published.
Took over.
And stuff. Yeah. He just got all that money. Yeah.
How can you say no to the money?
But still, though, those aliens, I saw Mike Wazowski. I mean, before I even saw Monsters, Inc. Yeah. It's like, this is so cool. They're green aliens all over the cover.
Maybe Mike Wazowski is based on...
That could be it. But those aliens didn't have legs. They just had 2 arms coming out. Like the cover. But they were green, and they also had 1 eye, like Mike Wazowski. So
Mike Wazowski. I just love it when those kids say it. Oh, it's amazing.
How does the old lady say it? I can never get it.
Number 1?
Yeah.
Mike Wazowski. Okay, don't judge my impression.
It gets you every time, though.
Every time.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I should have... I just wish I had more alcohol when I watched that movie, when I watched American Splendor.
You know what's funny about it is that... Okay, so one of the reasons why I have this movie, I bought it because I liked it.
The comics or
the movie?
Oh, okay.
I had seen it. I liked it. It was the movie that made me remember Paul Giamatti. I know he had done a bunch of stuff before that, but there's always that movie that's like, I'm gonna know who you are now.
It's funny because he's unrecognizable in that movie too.
I don't find he's unrecognizable. Really? I find he just looks like Paul Giamatti.
I think the bald spot kind of is more bald than I expected.
Maybe, but this is still the movie that's like, I know this person's name now. His name is Paul Giamatti. Like, this is that movie for me. And I obviously haven't watched it in a very long time because I remembered the Paul Giamatti scenes. I did not remember that there's interjections by the real guy, and they made it was more like a half biography, half documentary style kind of thing. Like, I didn't remember any of that stuff at all. Like, in no way, shape, or form.
Right.
And I was like, it started, and I was just like, the fuck? Oh, what? I was just confused. Yeah. And this seems to be happening very regularly as I'm going through these, because I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't watched any of these movies in a very long time.
It's refreshing, though. You get a different perspective.
You do. Yeah. And I like the fact that they have the real guy against the portrayal. Yeah. And I also think that's what made Giamatti's portrayal better, is that he did actually get his eccentricities right. And his sound of his voice right, and the way he kind of like, it's not even nonchalantly, it's very, what do you call it? Conspicuous way of kind of like sitting. It's like he's like I know I'm sitting this way, but I'm sitting this way for a reason. He just always
the weight of the world on his shoulders. He's always slouching, and he's so pissed off and everything
all the time. And I'm just like, oh my god! Like, I mean, I am far. I'm not an optimist. I'm just gonna put it that way. I'm not an optimist. But even this made me be like, oh, it's no. What?
We're both optimistic bastards. But at least we have...
Optimistic bastards?
It's a term that one of my friends from way back actually brought it up before. And for a little time on Facebook, they had the religion part, and it was an option in religion. It was like...
Optimistic bastard? I don't even know.
It was like optimistic bastardism. Like, you are pretty pessimistic, but you kind of try to see the silver lining now and then.
See, I just thought it was like a cynical pessimist. I'm cynical. I'm cynical against pessimism, so I always still see like a good side of something.
Really?
Yeah.
I always thought cynical pessimism was exactly how it was. Like, you are cynical and you are a pessimist, not that you are cynical towards pessimism.
Yeah, I don't know.
Interesting.
It's weird.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like, I go through my life seeing all the bad things, and I'm like, yeah, that's horrible. That's horrible. You know what's gonna happen here? This is horrible. Things gonna happen. But then when other people do it to me, and I'm like, oh, you're crazy. You're amazing. Everything's gonna be fine.
Stop reminding me.
Stop it. The world's gonna end. If I say it, it's fine. If somebody else says it, I'm like, oh,
you're not
no.
I own this. I own this.
This is my thing.
Yeah. Let me be the rain cloud on agony.
Yeah.
Let me be that person.
Come on.
You just be fabulous, okay?
Exactly. I bring the clouds. You bring the sunshine. Let's leave it that way. Just go with it. Let's do this. But yes. So that's me. That's good. It's good to know.
That's very. I did like how it was a bit more optimistic at the end though when he retired with the cake. It was cute.
Yes.
I like the ending. It was after literally dredging through depressing stuff. You get that ending. I mean, he never got another job. He was always a clerk and everything, but it was a good ending.
Which I thought was kind of sad.
It was definitely a little bittersweet.
Oh, he died.
Yeah, he died in 2010.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because I looked it up after, and the comic stopped, I think, in 2008 or something. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so basically they did end with, they did the cancer year, and then they did another omnibus thing, and then that was it, because he just kind of stopped being motivated. He had all these artist, illustrator friends doing all the artwork for him, but then he just kind of, because it wasn't bringing him any money or anything, right? He was just doing those jazz reviews and scraping by as a clerk. So even the comics, the movie did bring him some money, but it never really got to him. The royalties never
made it that far.
Yeah.
But I also think the thing is too, is you retire from the thing that kept you going and gave him his view on people and life. Yeah,
that's very true.
And once you retire, well, what am I gonna bitch about?
Yeah, I think he did a couple interviews and gallery showings of early prints.
Yeah, he probably was really grumpy the whole time he did those things.
Oh yeah. I think his wife is still alive, or she outlived him for sure.
Joyce.
Yeah, Joyce. What's her surname? Babner or something like that?
Yeah, Babner. Yeah, apparently she is still alive.
Isn't she 80?
She's only 66.
Oh, okay.
Because she was born in 52. He was born in 39. That's a huge...
Yeah, they're 10 years apart.
Yeah.
Oh, then that means when they married, she was mid-20s probably.
Yeah. She was quite a bit younger than him.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's a trend, though.
It was a trend for a very long time. Is that everything about American Splendor, I think?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It was definitely very highly rated. The ratings for it were. It was actually funny. One little anecdote I want to add was Roger Ebert rated it very highly, and a lot of them actually didn't find it as depressing as we talked about. They were saying, oh, they're little silver linings and everything, and the funny parts are laugh out loud.
There are some very funny parts.
Really funny parts. Yeah. But the reason they gave it 4 out of 4 is they were saying that the way Pekar represents the everyman is so honest that it's not depressing. It's very real.
No, I think they got it wrong. I think the problem is that I think the thing is that people Pekar is such a character. Yeah. That people didn't really believe he was a real person. Right? And that's why the comic books did so well. They're this guy is too angry and too yelly and too whatever. And yes, we all have these internal thoughts sometimes and whatever, but he is too much.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons why people liked the comic book, you know, and people bought the comic books and stuff. But I also think that's why the movie is so sad and so telling to me, is because no, he wasn't exaggerating. That's him.
Yeah.
This is the person.
Yeah.
And I think that's also one of the reasons why they integrated the real him with the fake him, is because people are just like, they're gonna think he's a joke. They're gonna think he's a character. No. Here, let him talk for 5 minutes. Here, you take this. You will see this is how he actually is.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's the thing I found really sad about it, is that he went through his whole life. Like, it's the first scene is he's like 8 years old, trick-or-treating, and he is that sad already. Like, he's already got the world on his shoulders already at that age, you know, and it doesn't get better.
See, if I were that lady, I would have just made him take a candy apple. It might have changed his life.
Yeah, but he didn't. He said forget it, and he walked away.
No, I would have forced it on him.
Oh. Yeah.
He'd probably throw it away.
Exactly. He'd have been like, what? Just chucked it. Like, it would have been done. Anyways, well, talking about, you know, crazy people. Animal House. Oh, hi-jinx ensue. Love it. Before we start on it, so I know you did not watch the DVD, but I watched the DVD. And the trailers on the DVD had me very confused.
Yeah?
The trailers on the DVD included Scarface, the John Hughes collection, which was Breakfast Club, Weird Science, and 16 Candles, and then Monty Python's The Meaning of Life.
I've never seen a single trailer of Animal House. Really?
Yeah. And I was just like, wait, what? I mean, I guess maybe it's the age of the people watching it they're trying to appeal to. But I just think it's a weird combination of films before Animal House.
It is kind of National Lampoon's vibe, though, because I know you haven't seen a futile and stupid gesture, but John Landis and friends, they were directly influenced by Monty Python and Scarface and all that. So maybe it was for the actual fans or people who follow them that would recognize all these references. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Gotcha. That makes sense. And I also didn't realize how long this movie was, which was like an hour and 50 minutes.
I know.
Just like, that's a lot.
I was actually surprised how long it was. Some parts were kind of draggy. But I still didn't expect it to be almost 2 hours. I thought it'd be like maybe 1:30, 1:45, but it was like
really?
2 hours later.
I was thinking like 1:20.
Yeah.
I was like, it's gonna be short, quick, be done with it. But and it just kept going.
It took so long to build up to the end.
Yeah. And also that end was nowhere near. I think I relate better to the dean now than to the quote unquote kids at college.
I felt so bad for the dean.
Yeah.
Like, gonna be honest. That probably wrecked his entire career.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But the problem is too is that like I've realized, especially in movies in general, when you have people that are a free spirit, I don't think movies actually understand what a free spirit is. And they make these people that are so inconsiderate to everyone else.
Yeah.
And actually puts people in physical danger on a regular basis, and they think it's hilarious and it's okay, everything's gonna be all right all the time.
Yeah.
And that's not how it works.
Yeah.
And it just really makes me angry. Like, it really does. Like, you know, you watch movies like Happy Go Lucky or Breakfast at Tiffany's,
right,
or Animal House, and then you watch them and like these characters, they're not particularly nice people.
No.
They don't think about other people besides themselves. Even movies like Harold and Maude, you know?
Yeah.
Like, Maude is a carefree older woman. She knows she's gonna die and all this kind of stuff. But she is a free spirit. No, she's a danger to society. You know, like, she's a dangerous person.
They can get away with it, though, because of Hollywood. Like, Hollywood, like, one thing I noticed was comedies like these that came out in the 70s and 80s, well, 60s to 80s. They're very outlandish and very extreme. They take slapstick to the extreme. Whereas nowadays, it's closer to real life, where, to a point, movies don't really have characters that have such huge assholes that endanger everyone. So it's almost when I watch old movies like these, I just kind of throw my sensibilities out the window and just smoke a joint and I can say that, right?
Yeah.
Smoke a joint. Please don't cut me out. And then just enjoy it for what it is, because it's never going to happen in real life to this extent.
Well, that's the thing. It's not the slapstick that bothers me. It's not like, you know, the horse in the dean's office. Like, that's not a thing that bothers me. The things that bothers me are like the small things, like that kid has his uncle's car and they're like, let's go on a road trip. And for no reason, they are literally ramming the car into different things. And he's don't damage my uncle's car.
He goes after and he's just like, take it easy.
Dude, it's gonna be fine. Whatever. We're gonna falsely report this to the police. And all I can think of is like, A, that's fraud. Okay. And B, you could have just driven the car just as a responsible adult and it would have been fine.
So, so when I first saw that, I was thinking, they're absolute dicks. Then I was thinking it was probably a way for them to get back at his brother, who is part of the, I can't remember, but the house that is like the pretentious house. It's because they knew that his brother Fred, I think, was part of that house. They just didn't care for his brother's car. Because at the very start, the dude, what's his name? Pinto? Not Pinto. Kent. Yeah, his name is Kent. They say that his brother is part of the pretentious house.
Oh, okay.
When they're introducing themselves.
Okay.
It's a bit convoluted. So, no one from the crappy house, Delta house, likes his brother. Okay. So I think when he borrowed his brother's car, they just didn't.
Was it his brother's car or was it his uncle's car?
Brother's car.
It's his brother's car.
And his brother is part of the
But he's an alumnus, right?
Yeah, he was an alumnus.
Yeah.
That didn't have a house, so they just accepted him in Delta. Yeah. So it could have been a way of them just like, we don't care about your brother, we think your brother's an asshole, so they just
but that's still also
it's still an asshole move.
Dickish, like because it doesn't affect them. It doesn't do the brother anything. All it does, it just bothers him. Like it doesn't do anything, right? So it was like stuff like that. Like I didn't care about like the antics. It was just shit like that. You know, you doing it to the person that's supposed to be, you know, your friend, your brother, the person you're supposed to be taking care of in your fraternity, and you're just doing things to make his life difficult. Yeah. That was it. You know, you're not helping in any way, shape, or form.
I cried a little when they cut up the car.
Oh, God, yes.
And then they made it into that cake car monstrosity. I was like, no, come on.
Yeah. I did not enjoy that at all. Well, that's the thing. Like, I find vehicles of, like, the 70s and stuff, a lot of them are just beautiful pieces of machinery. Yes. Yeah. American muscle cars are gorgeous vehicles, you know, like that's it. And so especially like movies in like the early 80s to like, well, I should say from like the 50s to the early 80s. Right. All of the vehicles in the most of the time, I'm just like, oh, that car's so nice. Oh, that car's so nice. Like I want to drive one of those cars. It's amazing.
The movies that come up immediately, I Drive, where he
I hate that movie, but yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, yes. And original Blade Runner.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
I know there's supposed to be, like, beautiful vehicles and that fly and all that kind of stuff, but they're still really cool.
I've always wanted a 65 Thunderbird. Ooh. So it's the Thunderbird before they extended the front cab really long, so it's like the middle one. Yeah. And people have given me so much shit. They're like, oh, you're just trying to compromise, or not compromise, you're just trying to compensate because you like your muscle cars. And I'm like, it's a gorgeous car.
No, that's a gorgeous car. Right? What are you talking about?
I want the convertible version.
Also, like this one.
Yeah. Look at that. Is that bronze or copper? Whatever.
It's like a copper.
Oh, man.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's a really nice car.
Yeah. Or even like old Corvettes.
Yeah. Yeah. Really?
old ones, like really old ones. I don't remember the year, but older Corvettes look very different from Corvettes now.
Because the Corvettes I'm thinking... Oh, yeah, these ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The hot rod, classic hot rod cars.
It would have to be... I don't like the hardtop one. I do really like the convertible version, though.
Oh, yeah. They don't make cars like these anymore.
No.
There are, like...
I do... I prefer, like, heavy muscle cars, not sports cars. So, like, Mustangs and stuff, I really, really like.
Are you the kind of person who likes the sound of the engines, too?
Yeah. But, like, I don't like... You know, like, people get all excited about, like, Maseratis and Ferraris and, like,
supercars.
Like, Porsche Boxsters and stuff. Yeah. I'm like, I like this on the engine, and I like that they go fast, but I hate everything else about the vehicles. Like, like visually, they're nice to look at. Yeah. But they're too low to the ground. The seating isn't right. They look uncomfortable to me, right? Yeah. And I like a car with, like legitimate power. Yeah. You know? So that's why, like, I do kind of... And, like, I like, you know, like, SUVs and stuff like that. Like, I like Hummers, for example. Not H2s and H3s. I mean, like, Hummers. Right. You know, like, the original Army-style Hummer. Like, I like
You're such
that.
a dude inside.
No. If I was a dude, I'd be able to give you engine specs and stuff. It's fine. But, yeah, like, I like meat on the vehicle.
On the other spectrum, though, I do love Porsche 918s and classic Coopers.
Oh, yeah,
They make very good turns, like they because of the way they're built and they're so small, they can just do sharp left turns in tiny Italian alleys
and stuff. Yeah, and that's what they're made for.
My friend is totally into F1, and he tells me about how they used to use them in it's called Group 2 racing. So it's like the more dangerous racing with like they go up like crazy mountainous sides, and they would always use classic Coopers and Porsches.
Yeah, because what happens is because of like the oh my god, I'm gonna sound like an asshole because I can't remember the terms right now. But anyways, like when they're up to speed and stuff like that, they actually sink lower to the ground. Yeah. And then when they take corners and stuff, they have a low flip
ratio. I know what you're talking about. Not ratio.
It's not ratio. It's whatever.
Don't worry, I won't judge you. When my friend talks, half the time I don't understand what he's saying. I just let him go on.
The problem is when people do the jargon at me, I know what they're talking about, but then when it's my turn to actually say the jargon, I'm like, what's those words you just said again? It's that. That's what I'm talking about. It's that thing.
Do you want me to draw a diagram for you? Yeah. Draw a diagram. That works, right?
But I think cars and motorcycles and stuff, like, I think all of them, or most of them, are really... They're just beautiful. Like, they're just made really beautifully. But at the same time, I still want to enjoy being physically in it. So, you know.
And feeling the power of the engine as it revs up.
Yeah, like, but that's the thing. It's not like, yes, I do enjoy that kind of thing. But at the same time, for example, like, I really like Teslas. And Teslas, when you get in it, it's not heavily revved engines or anything like that. It's very quiet, low power and stuff. But it's just about the way the consoles are, the seating arrangement, like the way the seats are, you know, the placement of like dials and all that kind of stuff. Like I love it when like vehicles, they actually pay attention to what your dashboard looks like, its placement and all that kind of stuff. Because I mean, I can't even remember what car it was, but I was shopping for a car a few years ago, and one of the things that really frustrated me was the placement of dials in the cars were stupid. Yeah. Like, you have to pay attention to the road. You have to have your hands on the wheel. And if I wanted to change the radio station or whatever, it's on the friggin' other side of the dash, and you've got to, like, actually pay attention to where it is, instead of usually it's close by and you go click, we just move quick little movement, and you're fine, you know? And it's stuff like that. I'm like, you're not actually you think it looks cool, but you're actually not taking into consideration how the vehicle is going to be used or how it's going to be regularly used. Get it.
It's like a designer's wet dream.
Yeah.
And I only want to get like 3 cars, even the cars that I really liked. I look at the interface, I'm like, no.
Yeah. and that's the problem.
Yeah, and I'm very anxious when I'm on the road, even if I'm not the one driving. And if I have to stretch being so short, for reference, I'm 5 feet, guys. Being so short, to like change like the station, it would like kill me. I'd probably get into an accident right off the bat.
Yeah. And it was stuff like that was just really frustrating me, and I'm just like, this console is dumb. Yeah. Like, this just doesn't make any sense. Yeah. You know, or even like like when you're doing like your turning signals, like it was just, I was just getting really annoyed. I was like, none of this makes any sense. What are you doing?
It was actually on that note. So my partner and I were driving in the States, and we were taking her mom's car, and it was really dark, and we spent 10 whole minutes trying to find the fog lights, and it was like I forgot the car, but it doesn't matter. She's gonna kill me because I don't remember the car. But we like took forever, and we finally found the fog lights, and that was not even on the same day.
Yeah. Oh God. No. Like 3 days later, I'm like, oh, there they are. Got it.
And it's bright and sunny out, and it's no longer dark. Like, are you gonna stop being an asshole? Your lights are too bright. Turn your lights down. Turn it off.
Yeah. Stuff like that's just really annoying to me. It's like, it just doesn't make any sense. Anyways.
I actually don't remember much of Animal House. It was like a trip.
Really?
I mean, I remember bits and pieces, but I don't remember when it happened. Like, you know how there's so much going on in the movie.
Well, that's the thing. So one of my biggest problems with the movie is the fact that you know it's happening during a school year.
Yes.
When does homecoming happen?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, I'm not from the States.
I'm not from the States either.
I don't know when homecoming happens, but we know it's like the movie starts at the beginning of the school year.
Yes.
And I didn't realize this is actually like a retelling. It's a historical film because this came out in 84. 78.
78? Oh.
78. And in the movie, when the movie starts, it's Faber College, 1962. And I'm like,
oh, right.
I didn't realize it was like, I thought it was just the same time period, you know, within that time.
Yeah.
But the thing is there's no reference to time passing or when this happens, and because it, like, seriously, all of this could have happened within the same week, as far as I know. Yeah. I have no idea.
They did a couple times in the movie talk about what terms they were going back into, though, because remember they kept saying that they were going to fail by the end of the term, so you know that there is the start of the year until the end of the term, which the movie happens, because if they got a very low GPA, their house would be closed down, their fraternity. So you have, like, I would say 4 or 5 months. 4 months?
Right? Yeah.
So you have
because that's why I was trying to figure out, because it ends on that year's homecoming parade or whatever, because it's like, even at the beginning, the guy at the beginning, he's like, I've got to keep on my beanie until homecoming. That was the whole thing. Yeah. And so he has it until then, and then, but I was just like, I'm not from this, I don't know when homecoming is, so I'm like trying to figure out how many months it is, but I know it's not a whole year. Yeah. And then I'm like, so, but when does all this stuff happen? And all this kind of, like, it just didn't, the timeline just didn't make any kind of sense to me, is all it was. It was a little bit frustrating.
Point of the movie, too.
Because it's just so crazy, and, you know, your college experiences are so much fun, you just don't know where the time goes.
Yeah. I actually read about the how they got all the stories, all the crazy things that happened. So as 2 of the writers and Landis's experiences from three different college experiences meshed together to make this film.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's probably why it feels kind of disjointed too. They kind of tried to connect all these, like, 3 different people's experiences from college into this crazy film.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that could do it as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it just kind of felt sort of, disjointed.
It's a fun movie, though. There were a lot of little references that I would think that if I were from an American college, I would find even funnier. But, like, for example, John Landis' character is what's his name? The dude who drinks beer all the time. And he's climbing up the ladder to look at girls.
John Landis? No, you're talking about John Belushi.
John Belushi.
Yeah.
2 Johns don't make it right. John Belushi's character.
Yeah.
He's climbing up the ladder and he sees the girls, and then he kind of, like, falls off the ladder because he just, like,
he like blacks out pretty much. He's just like, what's going on?
Yeah, boobs, hot girls. That was hilarious.
All I was thinking was just like, oh yeah, they used to go through a lot of trouble to see boobs back in the day.
Yeah. I mean, there's no Instagram, there's no Snapchat.
There's just no. You could just use Google. Type in boobs. Got boobs. Done.
Google back in the
Well, no, now.
Oh, now.
No, back in the day, no, they didn't have that kind of thing. They had to follow people home and climb up ladders and have them have a pillow fight with their shirts off for some reason. I'm like, I know you're a sorority and stuff, and I know you're a bunch of girls.
But pillow fights!
But it's not even the pillow fight. It's the fact that they didn't have clothes on. I'm like, you still put on clothes around each other. Like, that's not how it really works.
That part made me laugh, though, because it was so outlandish, but it was kind of like, you're making fun of college at the same time. I get it.
No, I think they're making fun of porn at that point in time.
Yeah, true.
Yes, because that's like such a trope, right?
Yeah.
It's like girls get together and for some reason they get naked and have pillow fights. Ooh, what? No, we don't. Do we? Did I miss out on something? What's happening? Like what is even going on? You know? So I'm like, no. Like I don't really think that's a thing. On average. Yeah.
On average.
But also, that's technically a felony what he did. So, peeping Tom is a felony, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I wouldn't know, but back then, probably.
Probably. I would still think it's part of the law, right?
I would hope it's part of the law.
Yes.
Yeah.
But also, it's harder. Well, because they also have all that stuff with like revenge posting and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Which I think is just disgusting.
Yeah.
So that I think that probably falls in the same category of things. Horrible. But also I never really like I guess because I'm not from the States or whatever, and I did go to university, but I still don't understand this whole fraternity, sorority nonsense. I don't get it. And why you have to be hazed and tortured to get into them, and
the spanking.
What's so great about it? Yeah, I love the juxtaposition between the two. They're like, here's this thing and here's this thing. And let's party and drink. Where the other people are like all solemn and they've got canceled and they were getting spanked. And please, sir, can I have some more?
The dude that's doing the spanking clearly enjoys it.
Clearly enjoying it. Poor Kevin Bacon. Yes. Please, sir, can I have some more? Yes.
And he's dying inside.
Just like, oh my God, what's happening? Yeah. I also found it interesting that Donald Sutherland was in this movie.
Who was
he? Was the teacher.
No wonder he looks so familiar.
That's Donald Sutherland, yes.
Oh.
Because it was really funny, because that's the same year he did The Great Train Robbery and Invasions of the Body Snatchers, which were two amazing movies.
Body Snatchers is amazing.
Amazing movies.
One of my favorites.
And I'm just like, how did you end up in Animal House if this is the other stuff that you're doing that year? Like,
because the double secret probation.
Is that what it is? He's like, secretly, I'm doing this stuff. But really, I'm doing this.
Also, one thing that made me laugh was the Pan-Hellenic Disciplinary Council, where they all got put in the room, the whole Delta House, and they were going against it, and they just walked off.
Yeah,
and
they just left.
And they were like, you can't just walk off.
And you're like, well, we just did.
We just did.
That's it. That's what's happening. But what's really funny about that scene is, like, I was like, this scene is so cliche. And I was like, wait a second. It's cliche because of this movie.
Exactly.
Because it's shown up, like, earlier, right at the beginning of the podcast, I did Accepted, and they have pretty much that scene in that movie. They don't walk off. They win their case or whatever, because there has to be a happy ending. But at the same time, it's pretty much that scene, you know?
It's amazing how much National Lampoon has actually influenced so much, like, comedy after it.
Mm-hmm. But I don't even think it's just comedy. It's just films in general. Like, when people are doing, like, references and stuff.
That's true.
They
like,
do
all
reference
the different
it.
tropes, too.
Mm-hmm.
It's just all the lines are blurred at this point.
Yeah,
there's so many movies just taking references from other movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I even think some movies, like some directors and like writers and stuff like that, they don't even necessarily know, like, they're referencing something sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's like they're just writing something and they're just like, oh no, this is the way it should go. But they don't know why it should go that way.
Yeah.
But it's because, that's something they've seen.
And they grew up with.
They grew up with it. Yeah. They've seen it several times and, like, they automatically put it this way.
Yeah.
For that reason.
They need, like, other people to tweet at them to find out.
Exactly. The movie comes out 3 years later after writing it, and they're just like, this is clearly taken from this and this and this. And they're just like, Yeah, that is similar. Interesting.
I better get my lawyer now. I don't want to be sued.
I know. But don't, like, I would assume they would do some sort of checking of something when somebody writes something.
Depends on their budget. It's not that they don't do the checking, I think. It's the layer of investigation.
Yeah, one layer compared to like 35 layers kind of thing.
How many good lawyers you can afford.
That's true. How much paperwork you can give people. I get it. I totally get it. Yeah.
Well, the Vogons need better lawyers for sure. Or paperwork.
No, but I think they have lawyers. It's just a bureaucracy, right? Because everything has to be, nobody wants to take responsibility for something.
Oh, that's true.
So everything has to go through like 35 layers of people before it gets back to do whatever, So it's by the book every time.
Who writes the book? That is the question.
They, quotation marks, they do, right? I mean, we live by their rules on a regular basis.
Oh,
so,
man.
And who made up these rules? Existential questions. Then you get back to this movie, it's like, shove food in your mouth. I'm a zit. You're like, what?
So when I saw that scene, I was wondering how much of it was real. Like, just shove food in your mouth. Every kind of food.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if he actually did it.
Actually, yeah, it's Belushi.
Yeah, it's
like
Belushi.
Jell-O
He would have done
burgers, with cake, with...
Oh yeah, that one scene where he took like the whole burger with everything on it and just shoved the whole thing fit in his mouth. And I was just like, oh my god, how did you not die? Like, you should have choked. Like, that's crazy. Ugh, nuts.
Oh, man. I'm a zit.
Yeah. Food fight. There was also this scene, I already mentioned this part with the horse in the dean's office. That scene, I'm sorry. I thought that scene was hilarious.
The dude measuring the horse in the
That's what I was getting at. And they're having like this serious meeting about the parade and stuff, and he's just measuring, and nobody's paying attention until he brings in the like chainsaw and starts it, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I love how drawn out it was too. For 5 whole minutes, you're wondering, why is this guy measuring this horse in the doorway? And then he rips out his chainsaw from nowhere, and you're like, oh.
See, that's the kind of
how you move a horse.
Yeah, that's where you can clearly see their Monty Python influence.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, because Monty Python is classic for doing that. Just these drawn out, completely dry scenes, and then this one thing right at the end makes the whole thing, and you just die laughing, you know? It's great. I thought that was a lot of fun. Oh, Otter and Mrs. Wormer look the same age, I thought.
Otter is...
the guy who thinks he's super cool.
Oh, yeah.
Who picks up the Mrs. He's at the grocery store.
Oh, yeah.
When they're having the party. They looked exactly the same age.
Yeah.
So I thought that was weird. And the other thing I noticed about Otter is anytime he's in scenes where he's being nonchalant, quote unquote, and he's whistling, he's always whistling Peter's song from Peter and the Wolf. He kept whistling it, and I was just like, why is it like this specific song? Like, I wonder if they shot like a bunch of his scenes in the same day, and that's the only thing he gets stuck in his head.
I was trying to pinpoint that, but then I felt really awkward because if I had to look for it on Google, I would just put do Animal House, and I wouldn't know, because I've done that before in movies. Like,
and it works, doesn't it?
What is the song that goes do, and then you get 5 songs, and you spend an hour, and then you go into this path, and you're like, I still haven't found what the fuck that song is, but I found like 10 other great classic songs.
Well, now I gotta listen to these other things, but now I still haven't found this one thing.
There's this thing, like, it's like when you're looking for an Arcade Fire song, what's the song that goes, whoa, over and over again? And
you just put an Arcade Fire, whoa, 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 but that's like 5 of their songs,
But then it turns out it's not Arcade Fire, it's like Mumford & Sons. You're like, shit.
You're like, what have I done with my life today? This is crazy.
Spotify thinks I love Mumford & Sons.
Yeah, no, I hate... It's one of the reasons why I don't use Spotify very often.
I
they get my tastes very wrong.
Every time I play Daily Mix, just to pass the time or whatever, fill the space, I spend a lot of time don't play this song. Mm-hmm. This is the last fucking time I'm listening to Mumford & Sons. Stop playing the same freaking song.
Skip it. Yeah.
Just because I listen to Irish people like Glenn Hansard doesn't mean Mumford & Sons is on the same level as Glenn Hansard.
I don't know who Glenn Hansard is, but
the Doors. I mean the Frame. Sorry, not the Doors.
Oh, the Frame. Okay, yeah.
The Doors.
Oh, I get them mixed up. I get yeah. Door Frame. I get it.
Door Frame.
I get it. Yeah. I would think the Frame would have come before the Doors, but it's fine.
Really depends how good your
architectural humor.
Oh God.
Yes, you're welcome. Mm-hmm.
Really, I was gonna say it really depends on whether you use a level or not, but
it's also true. Oh God. We are nerds on a different level. It's fine.
Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh, that reminds. Sorry, this is one going. Sorry, we're gonna go back to American Splendor for 1 second, where Toby did a round trip of 260 miles to see just Revenge of the Nerds. I was like, that is not a movie to do that kind of round trip for. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I understand he likes it and everything, but at the same time I was like, oh, you could have done so much better.
He's a proud nerd.
He is a proud nerd, and he's allowed to be a proud nerd. He's allowed to be a proud nerd. But still, pick a better nerd movie. Jeez.
I was wondering, though, what movies were there? Like, what movies about nerds actually came out during that time? Because that was a really old movie, too. Revenge of the Nerds.
You're making me and some of my listeners feel uncomfortable by calling that a very old movie. Okay. I'm just going to tell you that right now.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Age is just
okay. Revenge of the Nerds came out in 1984.
Yes.
Okay. I was alive in 1984, so there.
Sounds like a fun time. What do you do? Like, write pen pals letters and
yeah, it was part of the movie, so yeah. So what else came out in 1984? So there was
Play with
Dune.
Commodores? Dune.
There was
Dune.
Indiana Jones Temple of Doom was out. Once Upon a Time in America. Great Karate movie. Kid.
Shit,
Terminator.
Really?
Amadeus. Ghostbusters.
Amadeus is an amazing, underrated animated movie. I love it. It's animated.
Is this movie. The animated one, right? Is it?
Yeah, there's only one version of it.
No, this is
expensive.
This is not animated. This one's not animated. It's a different film.
Oh, my bad. I did watch it forever ago.
Ghostbusters, 16 Candles, The Neverending Story, Nightmare on Elm Street.
See, my question
1984 was a good year.
My question is, though, what are the movies were there about nerds that he would have driven? He should have driven 260 miles.
Technically, Ghostbusters is about a bunch of nerds.
Very
true. Go see Ghostbusters. Also 16 Candles, bunch of nerds are in there. Also, Neverending Story, that kid is a nerd who gets beat up at school, runs away, tells a story, saves the world.
True.
He could have driven.
Let's just blame it on bad writing.
Just blame it. But maybe that's just the movie. No, I think that's the movie he actually went to go see, and I would not be surprised. But at the same time, he just could have picked something better, is all I'm saying. Footloose, look at that. He's you know, a Buckaroo Banzai. Oh, jeez.
Buckaroo?
Yeah.
I have never seen that.
I personally didn't like it, but I know a lot of people who do like it, so I'm just gonna let them have that.
Okay.
Starman, This Is Spinal Tap, Beverly Hills Cop, Top Secret, Splash. Oh, Romancing the Stone. Oh, I love that movie. You've never seen it, have you?
No, I'm not quite old.
You're killing me. You're killing me.
I know. That age gap really gets to you.
Yeah, it does. Sometimes you say things and I'm just like, oh yeah. Oh,
I'm still a kid inside.
I'm an old woman. Thank you.
Young. Oh, I'm not that. I'm old enough.
Yeah, you're old enough.
Yeah.
But I also don't think at your age, I definitely was taking in a lot of media that was before I was born. So when a lot of people are just like, oh, that was before I was born, so I never saw it. I'm like, is that an excuse? I'm always like, that's not an excuse. I don't, what? I don't, like, no.
See, I had older sisters who are your age.
Yeah.
And so, like, I watched whatever they did because they had more TV time than I did.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing was, they had really poor taste.
Oh.
That's really it. My mom would just like put on MGM all the time. Like,
yeah.
and I don't know why, but she wouldn't watch it. She would just leave it on.
Yeah.
And I was always ended up being in the middle of a movie I did not understand.
Yeah, and you're just like, oh, what's happening? I don't understand anything.
I did not have my love for Cary Grant then. I was 10. I was too
young to understand. You're just like, no, I'm good. Thank you.
Why is everything in black and white?
Yeah.
Why do they talk like they've got something stuck in their throat?
Yeah.
Why do they enunciate so much?
Because they had to at that point. But no, I understand the black and white thing. Like, I think on the last episode I actually mentioned this, is that I had a problem watching. I didn't mind older colored movie, like
colorized movie.
Yeah, but I had a problem with like older black and white movies because it used to frustrate me watching them just the black and white. I'd be trying to picture the scene in color in my head, so it would distract me from the actual film I'm looking at.
So I watched Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat, the colorized version first, and then after a while I watched the black and white version. I'm like, no. It's called Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat. There's no color.
Yeah.
And it was really getting to me, and then from then I was like, I could do like one Christmas black and white movie, and that's it. Because snow looks pretty in black and white too.
Well, yeah, because it's white. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. Yeah.
What? Black snow?
Yeah,
that's called sludge.
No, isn't it called ash falling from the ovens?
Just from the ovens. That just got
dark.
Are we talking about Grave of the Fireflies right now?
No, let's not go down that road. No. I was wrong. Actually, one of the black and white movies I really do like, and I think actually it's because it wasn't completely black and white, is why I really liked it, was The Portrait of Dorian Gray.
I've never seen that version.
So the one I saw it on TCM like 2 years ago. And I don't know if it was originally released this way or not. I didn't see the beginning preamble or watch the end preamble that they usually have about the movies. But one of the things, the whole movie's in black and white, except for the portrait of Dorian Gray, like the actual portrait that gets more and more grotesque.
Yeah.
Right. And I found that was enough. But I also think the movie itself, I actually have to go back and try and rewatch it because I didn't see the movie from the beginning. I saw it from about like half an hour in or so. But what was interesting about it is like I sat there, I just put it on the channel for like 2 seconds thinking I'm just going to change the channel after. I'd be like, yeah, whatever, I've seen it, yeah, whatever. But no, it just sucked me right in. Like, and I thought like the acting was really good and the characters really interesting and like they built up a proper amount of suspense and all this kind of stuff. And I was just like, this is like a legitimately, like, it's a good movie. Right. And then when you finally see the portrait, and then they like uncover it and you see like it's in color and you're like, what? And it's all grotesque and disgusting and like it was just so like they used the color, the little bit of color, to it's like
accentuate,
to accentuate like the point and all that kind of stuff, and it was really well done. And so I'd recommend that one.
What year is it?
That's a good question.
See, I think Dorian Gray sucks you in. I can say that because he's devilishly handsome, or supposed to be.
Is it a picture of Dorian Gray? 1945.
1945. Wow, that's old.
I really liked it. I thought it was really good. But I recommend that one at least. Apparently, there was a 2005 one. I think
I watched that one.
I don't know. But yeah. So I recommend that one if you want to check out a quote-unquote black and white movie. And Some Like It Hot. That's my favorite one.
Some Like It Hot?
Yes.
That is a movie called Some Like It Hot?
Yeah. It's Marilyn Monroe, Jack Lemmon, and Dean Martin.
Oh, shit.
Well, sorry, Tony Curtis. How did I say Dean Martin? Tony Curtis. It's a great movie. It's excellent. Definitely recommend it.
Is it hot?
Steamy.
It is Marilyn Monroe.
It's Marilyn Monroe. Yeah. Exactly. But anyways, I guess we should get back to animals.
Just showing off how old we are by you rather, but with all the old movies.
Thank you for
You are wise. 30's the new 20, 40's the new 30.
What?
I think.
Oh,
I'm just trying to make you feel better.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're 20, I'm 10.
The LCBO makes me feel better because at least once a year they card me and I'm just like, oh, thank you. Here you go.
Just once a year?
Actually, it's probably about more than that.
Okay.
I post about it every time I get carded. You'll see. It's fine.
Every time you get carded.
Yes, people need to know. I went to the Elsevier today and I got carded. Thank you very much. I don't mind.
I mean, technically you're on Twitter way more than I am. You use Twitter a lot, right? Or
Not really, no.
Well, either.
I do Instagram a lot.
Yeah, I don't gram that much, so I'm the old person here. Yeah. I stalk the gram a lot.
Yeah.
But I don't post much.
Oh,
I just think my life is too boring.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I think my life is relatively boring, but I like taking pictures, so then I want other people to see it. And then, of course, with doing the podcast and stuff, I started posting a little bit more because of the podcast of like different things that I'm doing. And so then also that also translated to putting stuff on Twitter a little bit more often. Yeah. But it's 98% tweet that there's a new episode and then retweet on my other account. And hey, did you check out the new episode?
And then relearn the UI again.
Yes.
Every time Instagram and Twitter changes.
Exactly.
Where is the add button?
Yeah, where's that other thing that used to be here? What? How do I? What did they do?
I just swiped the wrong way.
Yeah, and then I realized like, wow, all the people was like, yeah, Instagram updated, now it's ruined everything. Like, what are you talking about?
Every few months, Instagram updated, it's ruined everything. Right. Boycott Instagram. Correct. They're still on Instagram,
and everybody's still there. It's fun. People get over it. They get used to it.
It's funny when they post those articles on Instagram.
Yeah, well, because I think Instagram thinks it's funny.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And I'm like, okay, that's nice. We still did it and you're still using it, so we're good to go.
We don't have any competitors. You're forced to use it, so whatever. Yeah.
What else was there?
Cat got your tongue?
But my last couple of notes were kind of serious, and I don't want to.
Now I really want to find out how serious they are.
Well, okay, so you know, there's the scene where they have the party and like he's making out with the girl and the girl passes out. Right, and she's topless and everything.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really good that they had like the angel and the devil scene thing.
I actually really like that scene.
And he didn't do anything to her, which is great. But one of the biggest problems with this scene that I had was that I know they were trying to, you know, have him do the right thing, B, kind of showcase like masculinity, like how it's kind of portrayed in movies and in life and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, they sort of emphasized it. Because as soon as the guy's like, no, I'm going to do the right thing, the devil's just like, you're gay, and disappears. Yeah. And I'm like, that wasn't necessary, you know? But at that point in time, like, it wasn't such a hot button topic. It was still, you know, if you're gay, you're being made fun of. Yeah. You know, whereas now it's just like, no, that's inappropriate language. Yeah. Like, don't do that.
I mean, at that time it was like, oh, you're gay, her.
Yeah.
And then now it's like, oh, okay. What do you mean by that?
By that, exactly. Yeah. And but clearly in this, it you know, it was to insult his masculinity because he didn't rape a girl. Like, and that was just like
dead.
Yeah, and like so, I had a really mixed emotion to it. Like I was very happy. Like I knew he wasn't going to in the movie and all that kind of stuff, but I didn't remember the angel devil thing, and I guess because I was preparing for this, I paid more attention to it. Yeah. And then, so at first I was just like, yeah, that's a good thing. And then the devil said the thing, and I was like, no, you ruined it. Why would you do that? You know?
And then she basically, they have sex after, too. Like, not in the same scene, but later on, she's still with him.
It's alluded to that. But she turns out to be 13, and I'm just like, this is gross.
After that. Yeah, that part was just the kicker for me. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Like, for some reason, I was I remember she was gonna say she was younger than she was. Yeah. But for some reason I thought she was 16.
I thought she was 16.
16, okay, senior in high school, he's first year in college. That's okay. Right. But I'm like 13? No.
But then it's also weird. Why would a 13-year-old be working in a supermarket?
That's the time.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, they have put on more restrictions to working ages as time has gone by.
For me, it was like maybe 14, but 13 is still a little bit like barely hitting puberty. Go get a job.
But she's also like the mayor's daughter, and she's like, if he's probably like called a friend and be like, hey, can you give my kid something to do on like weekends so she didn't get in trouble? And that's probably what it was supposed to be. Yeah. you know, because she's always like, wait till my parents go to sleep before I can come out. And so she was sneaking around. They know she's a troublemaker, so maybe that's what it was.
I think it's also because she doesn't look 13. Like, the actor doesn't look 13.
She doesn't look 13 at all. No. But that was the whole joke, right? I mean, if she looked 13, he wouldn't have... He would not have done anything. It would not have been a thing, right? So, I don't know. And there was also... The thing that bothered me was the scene in the bar when they went to go see Curtis Day and the Knights again. Yeah. And, like, I understand it was, like, a black bar and everything, but they're not... Black people have a good time without being hostile, so I don't...
Yeah, they were... There was definitely unnecessary hostility in that scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, like... I understand about being ignored and stuff, but people are not going to pull a knife on you and all that kind of stuff when you're not doing anything. Yeah. Like, that's... They'll get up and walk away. They'll ignore you, sure. Yeah. But they're not going to start pulling knives on you and stuff. And they're like, I want to dance with your girls. And the guys got up and left them there. Yeah. In, like, a quote-unquote dangerous place. Yeah. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, that's wrong in the first place. And they also lied to get them out there. They're like, my girlfriend died. Yeah. Come on a date with us and bring 2 of your friends. Yeah. What? Oh,
I think the whole movie succeeded in making viewers feel uncomfortable, though. Yeah. That was really... I felt like that was the point of it.
Yeah. That was the point of the scene. And the other thing was, at the end of the movie, when they're having the parade and they're showing, like, what happened to people after they left.
The little blurbs.
So the quote-unquote bad guys... horrible things happened to them.
Oh yeah, got killed in the war.
Yeah, by his own unit. And the other guy who was a aide to Nixon got arrested, was put in jail, and was raped in prison. And I'm like, why? Why was that? Yeah, that was like extremely unpleasant. Yeah, you know, like they could have just said he was in prison. That would have been fine. Yeah, but like they literally said, Nixon aide, 19 whatever, raped in prison this other year. And I was just like, that's awful. Like, that's just, that's not even humorous then or now, really. Yeah. Like, it was just so gross. You know what I mean? Ugh. But yeah, those were...
Definitely a very controversial movie. There are parts where I knew that, like you said, they were meant to be funny, but it's just pushing the envelope too much.
Yeah, it was just a little bit too far for my liking at certain points. And my other thing is, it does suffer from that time period issue where, you know, women's stance on things and women's ability to do stuff and all, you know, women are relegated to this back portion. Yeah. And men are better and toxic and all this kind of stuff over here. Yeah. Like they had those two very specific things. It suffers from that, like that time period.
The segregation of women and male and female roles, for sure.
Yeah, but also like black and white people and like views on masculinity and femininity and, you know, how people dress and, you know, how people respond to authority figures and what kind of authority figures are acceptable and stuff like that. Yeah.
I think it's this kind of movie where you have to be very open to watching it because it actually makes fun of a lot of these roles. Mm-hmm. But it also does it in a very extreme way where I found it really hard sometimes to tell if they were actually joking or they were serious when they wrote some of these things. Yeah.
Like if they thought, no, this is legitimately funny, or no, we're going to make a satirical point about this. Yeah. I agree. Like I completely agree. Yeah. It gets nuts. But I mean, overall,
it's a fun movie.
It's fun. It's fine. So, yeah, I guess that's it. So overall, would you recommend American Splendor for people to watch?
I would recommend a very specific kind of person to watch it. A person who would like someone, like the start of what he says about American Splendor, this movie does not have a good ending. Don't expect.
Oh, like,
that kind of person will enjoy it, but definitely not I'm going to watch a super happy blockbuster like Pitch Perfect.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's definitely not that kind of thing.
That's the worst date ever.
Yeah. And Animal House, you still recommend it to people?
Only if you're very high, because that's how I watched it.
I watched both of these movies completely sober.
I pity you.
I actually enjoyed, like, American Splendor is a quality movie. Like, it's acting, writing, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. If you're into movies, I would recommend it. But it's true. If you're just a person who likes to have a good time at the theater and, you know, watch a blockbuster or something frivolous, no, it's not for you.
American
Definitely
Splendor, I would say, like, I really enjoyed the first Sin City. It was a very noir vibe without the detective stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Whereas Animal House is like, it's a fun romp if you don't take it too seriously.
Yes. Yeah. Because, don't take like a uber conservative or feminist or something to that, because they will just bitch the whole time. Yeah. Or get up and walk out.
You definitely get very uncomfortable.
Yes. Yeah. Don't watch it with your parents either or anything like that. That's
Unless your parents are the people who recommended it.
Yeah.
Hey kid.
You never know. You never know.
You're
That's totally
now,
possible.
Right?
Yeah. Let's have some fun.
Let's have some fun.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much, Sarah, for being here and having this little chat with me. Hopefully you'll come back at some point in time and we'll see some other movies or something.
It depends on what's on your shelf.
Oh, there's a lot. We'll probably find something. Don't worry.
6 years later.
6 years later. Based on how this is going, possibly? I don't know.
It'd be pretty awesome. You'd be famous and then you'd be on the very top of the SEO.
Oh, yeah. People just like Google Tracy James. Off my shelf. Amazing. That'd be fantastic.
No, you'd be in New York Times if they're still around. Mm-hmm. Like, this podcast is a must listen for anyone who's interested in the complexity of movies these days.
And a whole bunch of other nonsense. So you gotta put, it's not just the complexity of movies, it's just like, I talk about a whole bunch of crap as well. Yeah. You gotta put all of that in there, you know?
You gotta get all your friends to write fake reviews on Yelp and Google for you.
That's not fake. If they write reviews, they're gonna write reviews.
Good fake in the sense that we're writing it for you to push your podcast.
I really do need somebody to write some kind of review somewhere. That would be real. That would help. That's right.
I need someone to write a review, some kind of review somewhere.
Yes. Yeah. That would be awesome. Thanks, guys. Woohoo! Well, I guess that's it for this episode of Off My Shelf. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at ohmyshelf, or you can send me emails at ohmyshelf@gmail.com. Next time, we are going to be talking about Annie Hall and Away We Go. Movies about love just in time for Valentine's Day. Hope you'll be here to listen.